I want us to really focus and pay attention to the changes we need to make so we don't get the same or worse result than we got last year, right? Last year, you might have had some success. Last year, you might have been overthinking it a lot. Maybe you just kind of got your feet wet. Maybe you just kind of created your program, or maybe you just started putting yourself out there. Maybe you just got comfortable on video or just got comfortable going live. Or maybe you was in a place where you had some success, but you found yourself being stuck. You were stuck at 2K a month, 5K a month, 10K a month. Maybe you're stuck at a certain revenue level and you're like, okay, well, how do I scale this? How do I take it to the next level? So that is really what we're going to be focused on today, is what are the things we really need to pay attention to so this year could be a much better year in our business, but also in our life, because our life we want to have a great life as well, right? We don't want to just be so successful in business that our relationships fall apart, or that our health falls apart, or, our connection with the higher power falls apart. We want to be in a position where we literally have a great life all around. And we want to be in a position where we can work towards our purpose and build something that actually will last, build something that will sustain, build something that's going to allow you to be successful and feel good about it, and have your kids see it and be proud of you and smile, and have your grandchildren see it, leave generational wealth, be able to travel the world, speak, coach, train, or do it from the comfort of your own home. I mean, there's so many opportunities out here for us to really get it. And this is a great time to, just because the year changed on the calendar does not mean that you're going to get new results, whether you like it or not. And I see people who say that so much, but then if I sit down with you and I say, okay, good, you're going to get new results today. It's going to be a new you. I love it. Good. Yes. New results. I love it. Show me your activity over the last week. Show me what products or services you created in the last week. Show me what content that you've released that strategically leads somebody to a sale last week. Show me your calendar where I can see all of the appointments that you booked with your ideal client last week. Let me listen. Send me a link to the recording that you have from the consultation calls and the strategy calls that you've had last week. Oh, you don't have it? That's fine. Give it to me 2 weeks before. Oh, you still don't have those? Okay, give it to me the month before. You still don't have it, right? And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but I'm saying it because a lot of times we want to change, we want to get different results in our life, but we haven't been doing different activity to get the different results. And we know that it's insanity. You keep trying to do the same thing, but the results, you're trying to get new results, but the activities is like the input to get the output is different, right? It's like 1 + 1 is 2, but you keep putting in 0 trying to get 2. Right? It's your input makes a difference. You trying to put 3, you try to put 27. 1 + 27, 1 + 3, 1 + 0 does not equal 2. 1 + 1 equals 2. Right? Now, obviously, there's a lot of ways to get the 2, but at the end of the day, the combination of it equals 2. But if you input something different into the equation, then you're not going to get the result that you're expecting. The problem is not that you're experiencing the turmoil or you're experiencing the feeling or you're experiencing the challenges. That's not the problem, because we're all going to go through life circumstances. The problem is that every time you go through something, you stop. That's the problem. The problem isn't deaths in the family, because that's always going to happen. At some point, you're going to get sick. At some point, something might happen to the economy, pandemic, COVID, recession, something is going to happen, right? And I'm not saying everything is within your control, but what I'm saying is the things that's within your control, you should really be focused on taking action. And that's the problem, is that because we're going through challenges, we've connected that in our mind to, oh, I can't make progress because I'm going through the challenge. Does that make sense? And every time I come across the most successful people that I know with 7, 8, 9-figure earners, people who are just successful in different areas of their life and business, every time I come across them, what I've noticed is that they're not the type of people to give excuses. That doesn't mean that they don't go through things, because I know them and I know a lot of high earners that are going through things personally, But what I've learned is when it comes time to serve, they show up and they serve. They show up and they help. They're still giving, they're helping, they're serving, they're still getting, despite the things that happen in their life. And I've consulted thousands, I consult thousands of people every year. What I can tell you is that the majority, the people who don't make it, or the people who tend to struggle year after year, and it's on their mind, and they stressed out, and they wonder why it's not working, and why is it taking so long, or why is this person moving further, faster than me? Why is this person more successful than me, to the left and to the right of me? If we're wondering these things, you can't be mad at anybody else succeeding, because I want you to be a go-getter. And be a go-getter from the standpoint of, don't feel like you need to have 100% of the information to take action. Man, yo, you know how that held me back? And I see so many people back because they the perfectionists, or it's not quite right, or I need to do more research, or I need more education, or I need to go back to school. I need to join this certification program and do this and do that. And they have to do 100 things before they get started. And really what they don't realize is that it's not the 100 things. You just trying to make yourself feel more comfortable. And what I'm sharing is that you're not going to feel 100% comfortable because you haven't done it. See, it sounds kind of interesting, right? Because we tend to think, and nobody taught us this, right? So I'm not saying it's your fault or my fault, right? Nobody really taught us this, right? Because a lot of us, we didn't grow up in wealthy families. And if you did, they still got to teach it to you. So we tend to believe that if we don't know something, or if we don't have 100% of the information, that it's a mistake moving forward. What I'm saying is it's a mistake if you don't move forward and you have enough information, right? Have enough information, because it's not all the things that you're doing, because you're trying to do all of these things to feel comfortable. But here's the secret: you'll never feel comfortable until you actually take action. The more you become comfortable with the action. And so, which means that you can't be comfortable before you take your leap into something. You can't be comfortable before, or you won't feel comfortable before you get on stage and speak. You won't feel comfortable until you connect with that person. You won't feel comfortable until you take the action. So that's the first thing that I want us to really pay attention to this year is, am I allowing some lack of information, or am I allowing some obstacle to stop me from moving forward? What I think, because remember, it's only what you think. If you think that because it's a recession, you can't get any clients, then you won't get any clients, right? I remember the pandemic, where everybody was closing up shop, businesses was closing down. People was like, yo, everybody is shook. The virus, people are not going outside, right? Everybody was frozen. While everybody was frozen, what I was doing, I was teaching, I was training. I said, my mindset wasn't panic. My mindset was, oh, wow, that's crazy. That means there's a lot more people that's going to be home. That means there's going to be a lot more people that are going to be online. Okay. So while everybody is doing that, now I'm going to teach, I'm going to train more. I'm going to do, and that's what I did. And I had people who've been following me for a minute. That's when I had, Live at 5, where I used to go live every day at 5 p.m. every single day. And I used to just train, and I ain't have to take any kind of big, a lot of times we get afraid to train because we don't know what topics we're going to talk about. I'm just like, yo, topic on the paper, go. I didn't have to have this big planning and preparation session. What's the topic for today? Go. Because a lot of times we already have what we know. The reason why you want this training, or the reason you follow me, or the reason why you're interested in coaching and speaking and monetizing your expertise is because you feel like you have the expertise. You feel what I'm saying? You feel like you have the knowledge, or you have the education. You're just trying to figure out, okay, how do I wrap this business model around it where I can serve people and at the same time create generational wealth for me and my family? That's what this is about, right? And while having fun in the process, doing what you love, living your purpose in the process. That's what we all ultimately want. But we allow all of these other reasons to get in the way of doing what we really want to do, or what we need to do in this world. right? So first success habit is I just want you to be a go-getter. If you don't feel uncomfortable, that's really when I want you to take the action. Because realize, okay, what did Coach T say? Okay, Coach T said, if I do it over and over and over, the more comfortable I got to start to even start getting comfortable. And then not only do I have to start, but I have to do it over and over. Consistency is everything. Number 2, consistency is everything. You've got to be consistent. You know what's so funny is that you've heard that a million times already. So Coach T telling you this right now is not the first time you're hearing it. But there's a reason why you keep hearing it. The reason why you keep hearing it is because consistency is what produces the result. That's what produces the result. We think that doing something one time is going to produce the result, but it won't, right? You give me anything you think you're supposed to do in this industry, and I'll tell you if you did it one time, how you will feel. Even if you're more talented than somebody else, or you know more about your topic or your niche than somebody else, if somebody else is more consistent than you, they'll beat you day and night, hands down. Consistency is everything. So this year, I really want you to focus on doing everything in your power to be consistent. You have to be willing to sacrifice for success. You have to be willing to give up the things that make you feel uncomfortable to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. You have to do the things that you normally do, and you have to break that routine and do something else that's going to give you a greater result. So if I know what my ideal clients need, I can create a webinar about it. I can create a checklist about it. I can create an infographic about it. I can create a conference about it. I can create a challenge about it. You feel what I'm saying? But if you don't know what's going to attract them and make them say, okay, I want to go to the next level with you, then you can't even come up with a resource that they're going to want for them to become a lead, for them to eventually